Oh, yeah, pipe smokers, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And it is the 15th of June, 2025. Yeah. So let's have Father's Day smoke together. And yeah, I got a couple funny stories to tell you about Father's Day. Um, and then, yeah, it's going to be a great show. So grab your favorite pipe, grab your favorite blend, and grab your favorite beverage. And let's set something on fire. Yeah, so today we're going to be smoking some Two Friends Celtic Mist. And that is, oh gosh, from 9/26 of 2021. So coming up on 4 years old. Yeah. And I love this Rhodesia pipe so much. I'm going to smoke that again. Let's start something on fire together. Yeah, happy Father's Day for all you fathers out there. Mm. Two Friends Celtic Mist by Cornell and Deal. Just a great English blend. The room note is phenomenal on this blend. So anyone can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a daddy. And I'll tell you, I raised 6 sons and 4 daughters. That's a big crew. That includes 3 stepsons, but I look at them as my own sons. Cheers, by the way, boys. My 4 daughters, I would take them individually on daddy-daughter dates. Yeah, I'd take them out. Daddy-daughter dates, take them out to a nice restaurant. They could order whatever they wanted. Didn't matter. And then they were starting to get into makeup around 12, 13 years old. I'd be like, let's go shopping. Do you need makeup? Oh, yeah. Go to the store, man. I couldn't believe how much the makeup was. I'd spend 50, 60 bucks. And some of my daughters, they'd be like, Daddy, I don't want you to have to spend all this money on me. I feel bad. And I was like, no. Honey, that's why I work hard. I am raising all 4 of you girls to be princesses. Okay? And, some of my daughters would be like, I like shopping with you better, Daddy, because you never say no. It's like, well, that's why, I work so hard so I can provide these things for you because I love you. And what I did, I don't know if I realized really what I was doing. I did realize how much I love my daughters and I wanted to take good care of them. And they weren't spoiled, but yeah, on those daddy-daughter dates, I'd spoil them. And I'd take each one of them individually alone. But what that did, it set the bar so high that my daughters were not going to date a scumbag, someone that they felt they had to try to fix. A lot of daughters that have alcoholic or drug addict fathers or abusive fathers, they'll date someone that they try to rescue and fix them. And that never works out. So I do that, and I set the bar high. I'll tell you what, today I have done my job. I am just an advisor now. And my daughters, all of them, have picked great men. Great men with good careers. My one son-in-law is he's actually a branch manager for a Geico insurance company. My other son-in-law, he works for the county. He has a good job. My other son-in-law, he works for the college. He has a good job. They're not doctors or lawyers, but they picked men that were working men like me. And my last daughter, and 3 out of 4 of my daughters are married. 2 of my 4 daughters have houses with their spouses. Now I sound like Dr. Seuss. So I'm happy. I'm looking back at all that hard work. And my youngest daughter, she just turned 22. She has a great man. And, you know, but she's not married yet. So, but all the other 3 are. And my sons, my 6 sons, 2 of them are in heaven now. And I'll see them again. I think about them today. I'm sure they're thinking about me. All my sons, I raised them to work hard. They all worked for my family business that I had. And it was outdoor work, doing concrete work, concrete, landscape curbing. We used to do sidewalks and stuff like that too, a little bit. And I expected them to work as hard as I did. So if I was working at this level, and maybe some of the other crew that weren't family were working at this level, I expected them, I gave them no entitlements because their dad owned the business. They got no entitlements. I loved them. I treated them very kind. I never yelled on the job site at them, none of that stuff. I only expected them to do what I was willing to do. I expected them to work as hard as I did. And all of them, when they got to be around 14, 15, 16 years old, every single son normally is going to challenge his father. I had to put them in their places. I fired every one of them multiple times. Sometimes I'd fire them for only 15 minutes. I'd be like, look, this is the way, we've done it this way since we started this business. That it's a proven method. You're deviating from that. Well, I want to do it my way. Okay, well, it's not going to happen that way. All right? It's just not. You're going to do it the proven method way, the way that I want. I'm paying you. No, I'm going to do it my way. Okay, you're fired. Go sit in the truck. I'm stopping your clock right now. And sometimes, like I said, I'd only fire them for 15 minutes. Then they'd come out of the truck and be like, all right, I'm sorry. We'll do it your way. It's like, thank you. Some of them, you know, some of them I would have to fire for like a month. And I'd go home and their mother would be like, they would run into the house, whichever one got fired. First thing they'd do is, Mom, Dad fired me. Or my stepsons would be like, Mom, Paul fired me. And she would be like, why would you do that? And I would explain it to her. And I'd be like, look, I don't have to explain it to you, but here's what happened, and here's why they're fired. They refused to listen and follow direction, insubordination. And she'd be like, well, you can't do that. This is fine. Here's the keys to the truck. Here's the key to open up the trailer. Here's all the jobs for tomorrow. You go out and you run the business, you hire them back, and you do the jobs. Well, I can't do that. I said, exactly. Well, the bedroom was a little cool for a couple of weeks after that. But I was not, and still will not, ever be held hostage. I just won't do it. So one by one, when my boys started getting their own families and wives and stuff like that, they'd call me up and they would thank me for giving them a great work ethic, for loving them. My stepsons were like, you were a better father to us than our own father, you know. And so that's the way I raised my children. And they are all good, functional, non-drug addict people. They're not alcoholics. They're all good people. Good, hard-working people. And they do well for themselves. So a funny little story, when my two youngest, who are 21 and 22, Paulie Jr. is 21, my beautiful favorite redhead, Bianca, she's got beautiful copper-colored hair. It's long. When they were like 5 and 6, or 6 or 7, something like that, the night before Father's Day, they asked me, Daddy, what do you want for Father's Day? I said, well, I would like some peace and quiet and be able to work out in my yard, work out in my garden, and just have peace and quiet. So this is funny how children will take your words literally. I wake up the next morning, it's Father's Day, there's a can of peas sitting on the table, and there's a note that was written by them, and it said, Daddy, happy Father's Day, we love you so much. You said you wanted peace and quiet, so here's your can of peas, and we promise to be quiet. Can you imagine that? We spent the day doing tractor rides. We did all kinds of great stuff. My house was a house of solace, and it's just, here's your peas, and we promise to be quiet. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. But little kids will take what you say literally. I remember my youngest stepson, Michael, was sitting in the passenger seat, and he was probably about 5 years old at the time. I'm trying to pull out on a busy road, lots of cars, so I'm going to have to just gun it, like floor it, to get out onto the main road. And I looked over at him, I says, all right, man, here we go. Hold your shorts. I freaking cruise out there, got up to speed. I look over. He's literally holding the bottom of his shorts. I was like, what are you doing? He says, you told me to hold on to my shorts. I said, that's just a saying, you know, get ready, man. Here we go. Yeah. So I just feel so blessed. I thank the Lord so much for what he's restoring in my life. Today, I went over, I'm actually closing tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the house. And me and the realtor do a final walkthrough. We go down in the basement, we see there's like a little wet spot. She's got her camera out with a flashlight, or her phone out with a flashlight. And now, get this. I mean, she already caught that there was no water pressure in the tub. which requires a lot of water pressure. Everything else was working. So I met her over there, and we're looking through some things, and she's like, I'm turning the water on the sink, and it's like leaking out the bottom. She's like, the seller's going to have to fix that. It's like, good, because I can't afford that. And we went down into the basement, and there's the huge, it's a cast iron 4-inch pipe that goes down and goes out to the sewer. So everything, all the water and stuff that you're using, that when you flush the toilet, all goes down through this pipe. And she's like, oh my gosh, there was a 3-foot crack down the whole side of the pipe. Apparently, maybe at one point in time, the pipe froze and it busted open. And I was like, whoa. She calls up the plumber. Here comes this black Christian guy, master plumber, 47 years old. Great guy, man. Comes over and he's looking at it. He's like, oh man, that's not good. That whole pipe has to be replaced. So she contacts the seller's realtor and is like, all right, we still have 2 situations with the house. This is after the seller, she caught something that the water pressure wasn't right. The seller spent $5,200 to replace the water main from the house all the way out to the street. It was $5,200, and my realtor caught it. Now she catches these other 2 things. She's like, well, they're going to have to, she calls him up. She's on the phone. The plumber shows up within 10 minutes. He's like, all right, yeah, I can fix this. I can fix it. He's like, what kind of faucet do you want coming out of the sink? I says, look, don't spend $1 million, but don't go on the cheap side either. Get something mid-range. I don't want to abuse the seller. I don't want to get, something that's a $400 faucet or anything. Just get something that's similar to, it's one of these gooseneck faucets, and it detaches and it can become a sprayer. Just get something that's similar there. I don't care if it's a gold color, the way that this one is. It could be chrome. I don't care. And so she contacts the seller agent. Seller agent gets back to us about a half hour later and is like, okay, the seller is going to pay to have those things fixed. And it was another $1,500. You're talking now $6,700, almost $7,000 in repairs that the seller has to do for the incoming water and the outgoing sewer. They have to do that. And she's like, we need to get all this in writing. I'll prepare everything. And the plumber, the master plumber, he's like, I'll be over Wednesday morning and I'll fix it. And here's how I'm going to fix it, and blah, 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 blah. Well, the seller agreed to do that. Thank the Lord. I couldn't afford it. I'm going to be, a little low on funds after closing here. So, yeah, so I was really, really blessed. Stove, it's got a beautiful, huge gas stove, a beautiful, KitchenAid, top of the line refrigerator and freezer. It's those appliances come with the house, and I'm just so excited. I'm so blessed between my children, my family, between the Lord who has given me so much grace and just so much, and between getting this house, I'm really, 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 really blessed, and I'm thrilled. I've got goosebumps on my arm right now thinking about it. Yeah, so we graduated to a little cigarette butt here. I am truly blessed. The Lord is restoring my life, and it's just, I can't thank God enough for what he's doing for me. So, everyone out there who's a daddy, happy Father's Day to you. Hope you're all having a great day. Yeah, I'm having a great day. The thing of it is, I'm 60 years old, but I'm in good health. I'm in good shape. This is like the best chapter of my life. And if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have this at all. And it's not about the material things or anything like that. You got to have a roof over your head, God provided me with this house. This house is going to be dedicated to the Lord. And I'm just really fortunate. I'm so grateful to the Lord. Yeah, he's followed this thing through. Yeah. Anyways, happy Father's Day, everyone. God bless you all. And maybe we'll do a short video when I go to the house and bring some things over tomorrow. Yeah. I'll give you a sneak peek of the house, a little walkthrough. Anyways, God bless you all. Enjoy your day. Paul the Pipe Guy, over but not out.